Please don't notice the fact that I have like a red mark on my neck. While I was shaving, I think I irritated it, so it sucks, but I'm gonna completely ignore it. You should all do that as well. I'll be covering the events that occurred on me and 5 of my best friends' adventures across the European continent last summer. And for those of you who don't know, we went interrailing. So ladies and gentlemen, our story starts off where every good story starts, the airport. We got there for 5 as our flight was at 7:30. So, you know, after doing all the essentials, security and checking in our luggage, in a lot of British airports, you have like kind of 3 options for breakfast. You can either go to like one of the cafes like Costa or Starbucks, you know, something like that, you know, have a normal breakfast. You can have whatever Burger King do for breakfasts, I don't know. Or the only option for most people, you gotta go to Spoons. Hello vlog. You guys all said you were fan of it.
Saying hello vlog just out of nowhere. I'm trying to eat my bacon roll. It's just a bit, you know, bad.
We're ordering a pint because we're gonna ironically drink at 6:30. It's for the joke, okay? We're not actually doing it.
Okay. I was shaking. My hands were shaking until I started.
First recommendation, I'm going to do an actual advice video later, but do not get a pint at 6 o'clock in the morning. We did it as a joke, okay? We didn't actually enjoy it, but you know, it was the like whole lads holiday mentality. I would not recommend doing it. Anyway, we get on our flight, smooth sailing, or smooth flying, I guess. How we planned out our trip is there were 6 of us in total, and we were staying over in 5 places. So in each place, one of us booked a hostel. Well, I was the only one who booked an Airbnb because it was easier in Prague, but everyone else booked a hostel. And that left one person who was kind of, I will say, like our organizational leader, which was Fraser. He booked all the transportation and he organized like all the train times and stuff. So big shout out to Fraser. He is the king. And actually the main reason why we got to go on this trip in the first place. He was the GOAT, I will say. So on the trip, there was me, Fraser, Colin, Hugo, Sandy, and Charlie. That was the group. One of those names is not actually one of the names of the people. I obviously asked all of them for consent if I can use their name and like videos of them and stuff. And one of them said no. So if you know my group, you'll know who the odd one out is and who the odd name is. But yeah, that was my group and we've been friends for a long time. I'll actually cover it in my advice video, but yeah, we're great friends. Anyway, back to the story. I booked Prague. We got through border patrol perfectly fine. And we had to wait longer because of Brexit, you know. And we got to baggage claim and everyone had already collected their bags, so they were all waiting at seats apart from me for some reason. My bag took like an extra 10 minutes, so I was sitting there waiting, and it's at this point while I was waiting for my bag and I was away from the group that I finally checked my phone after landing. And I'm hit with 15 messages, a couple of emails as well from the people who I booked the Airbnb off. And apparently what had happened was that the last guest who stayed at the Airbnb reported they had bed bugs. Hey vlog, tensions are rising right now. We just found out the Airbnb we booked in Prague has been cancelled because they found a bed bug in the last second. So we're gonna have to scramble to find a new Airbnb in the city of Prague, and we'll see. We'll see if we survive. So that's great, right? You know, being in a foreign country for the next couple of days and you have no place to stay. I booked on my dad's Airbnb account because I wasn't 18 when we booked it, but we did message the people to like make sure it was all okay. So he also got all the messages and stuff, which was good. Because then him and my mum, they messaged all the parents as soon as they got it, like everything's gonna be fine. They're looking for another place. But none of my other friends had pulled out their phones to check. And most of this happened while we were on a plane. So I had to be the one to tell everyone. And I just remember walking over and having to tell everyone that we didn't have a place to stay. So that was very... That's very interesting to see all their different reactions. Once the initial panic kind of subsided, we just decided to stick to our normal plan. Just getting into the city center of Prague, and then hopefully we'll find a place on our way there. Because actually getting to Prague city center was like crazy. The first step you have to do is you have to like get tickets for the bus, but you don't like get tickets for a certain destination. You have to like book a certain time. Like I want to be on the bus for like 20 minutes and that's what you pay for. Once you get off at the correct stop on the bus, you get a subway to the city center. Luckily we had Fraser, so he had worked all this stuff out. So that's why I'm gonna keep saying he's the GOAT, because he really like clutched up when it came to all the like important details. I think it was halfway through the subway, my mom found a place for us to stay. So I was really hit with a big wave of relief at that point. It was just perfectly timed because as soon as we got off, I actually got to see like Prague city center, and it's just really beautiful. It's so big and grand. Architecture wise, it's just a really cool place. And it was a clear blue sky. It was pretty magical. Anyway, we went to a restaurant and we'd ordered foods, and then we found out that we had to go get the keys at that moment. So I grabbed Colin and we had to run to the apartment. Luckily it was only 5 minutes away. The guy gave us like a tour of the place, and it was actually a lot nicer than the original one we had booked. They were like, the original one only had 5 beds and one like pull-out like sofa beds. So actually having 6 beds was actually a big win for us. And on the walk back from the place to the restaurant, we decided to play a little joke on everyone and say that the place was like just okay and like wasn't that good. So I remember like the big surprise everyone had. It was a good moment.
Welcome, boys.
It's not bad, is it? It's not bad.
Why are you saying this is shit? This is
That's what we're saying. We lied. You got pranked.
This is not
We
hard.
lied to you. It's good. So this is the 4-man room. There's another.
The great thing about my friend group though was that we all kind of like were on the same page when it comes to, we're not just going interrailing, we're doing interrailing. We're pretty much out every night, and we're also up at 8 AM the next day just to get the day started and to see as much as we could, you know. And no one was really like lazy or like dragging behind. And after all freshening up, we hit all the tourist spots, I guess, in Prague. We hit the castle.
That's so high.
Charles Bridge.
Bridge.
And we hit a cafe under Charles Bridge. Kafka's statue heads thing. You know, his rotating head, we hit that. Yeah, it was really cool. A lot of walking, which I love because, you know, being in a foreign place, it's just cool to be out there with all your friends, you know. And the vibes were immaculate as usual with my friend group. We got espressos at the cafe because, you know, we were getting a bit tired. I just remembered. I had to check the Instagram to see what we just did. But we also hit the like square and the clock tower, and like we went to a couple of cathedrals. Like we did a lot on the first day. I completely forgot about that. So after seeing all the tourist stuff, we headed back to the Airbnb. That night we decided to have grilled dinner, and we just got some bread from the supermarket next door. And Colin made us some sandwiches, which he then called his parents afterwards. And since we're all in the same room, we can hear every conversation, and he told his parents that he cooked us all a meal. He made us all a sandwich, but I wouldn't consider that cooking as a meal. But after the sandwiches, we went to this area that one of the waiters at the first restaurant we went to told us about. It was completely dead. It was a Sunday, to be honest, so we didn't really expect there to be that much going on that night. We did find a couple good bars. The second night, of course, we were up again early because we had museum ticket stuff. This was the first time our group actually split up, and I remember walking to the museum we were going to and seeing a marketplace. So when the boys met up back at the square, we were like, let's go to this marketplace and just see what's happening. We got like hot dogs and some like really good chips from the stand. Yeah, we decided to go to the Kafka, not the head statue, but the full body statue, I guess. And then we just kind of walked up like the main Prague like promenades. I don't know how you describe it, like the shopping street. The street with duplex on it. It was really nice to like kind of just fully embrace the whole vibe of the place, I guess, and the atmosphere and whatnot. And we decided to go sit in the grass for a bit and decide what we're going to do for dinner. And Fraser, the goat, as usual, he made a reservation at this restaurant so we could try some traditional Prague goulash. And then of course on the way back we had to hit another coffee break. I think most of our money was spent on like cafe breakfasts and just like coffee. I call her cappuccino. You know, you're in Europe, so that's what you're meant to do. We went back to the Airbnb, dumped all the shopping and stuff people had done for the day. Then we walked to the restaurant, tried the goulash, amazing. Oh, I love the little bread stuff that you did. Oh, it was so good. It was like spicy as well. It slapped so hard. Food on this holiday was really, really good. And then we had to go out drinking again, but we didn't go too hard because we had a train to catch the next morning. And then we move on to the next day where we had to get the train to Munich.